Today, I'm going to show you how I built like the most efficient, cheapest, best, just most amazing rotational grazing fence. What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Really big thank you. We've been getting a lot lately, and if you're not subscribed yet, consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Today I'm going to show you how I built like the most efficient, cheapest, best, just most amazing rotational grazing fence ever. This keeps in multiple species. You don't have to deal with a ton of insulators. It's probably the easiest, most efficient way of doing it. It just comes out and looks good. Let me show you. You can see we have our very weird looking herd here now. We got the longhorns and see our llamas up there. The llamas, very smart. They've only been with us maybe a week and a half, and they already figured this out. You saw them go through the fence. You saw them go through the gate to the new paddock. They already got it figured out faster than some of the other cows. I mean, that's impressive. They are very smart creatures. But here, this is a very temporary lane fence that we have up, and this is not what I want to show you, but this here gave me the idea to do what we did. So this here is our gate. We built this really simply with the stepping post connected to 3 strands of this is 17 gauge wire, and the other pivot point on the gate is a T-post. Now this whole setup is so easy to build. Takes a T-post here on this end, a T-post all the way on the other end, and then some very special fence posts. And these are the fence posts that I want to talk to you about, because these are working out just amazingly. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 paddocks set up with using these fence posts here. And these aren't even fence posts. What these are is these are the things that people use up north to where, like, you know, they have to keep they want to line their driveway when it snows, so they know where, you know, to drive and not drive on the grass or whatever. They're just fiberglass, you know, like stakes, but they work amazingly. They're like 5/16 of an inch wide, but I drilled a hole in them in 4 spots, and they work wonderfully. Let me show you. Check it out. All they do is hold up the wire. Now, I thought about putting them, you know, running the wire through the middle of it, through the hole, but then I saw a video of Greg Judy, and he just did it like this, and this works out way better because, you know, these things they're 62 cents or something like that, 63 cents. Got a 100 pack on Amazon. I'll put a link to that down in the description. But, you know, but they can snap. You know, I've had a couple snap on me because I tried making this the brace, and I tried making this the brace on the ends, and that didn't work out too well because they're just flimsy, and, you know, with a lot of tension on them they will snap. But that's why I changed to like a T-post like I have over there. Just a T-post on that side and a T-post all the way over on that side. But these right here, I only have 3 strands because didn't need the 4th one that keeps the llamas in perfectly. 1 strand will keep the cows in, but I need to come up with some sort of solution for the llamas. And this seems to be working perfectly. I mean, it looks nice. you can barely see it. At night, you can actually come out here with a flashlight, and because it has that tape on there, it actually lights up. And I mean, this is all hand tightened. There's no H-brace. It's all just on a T-post, and all I did was tie it around an insulator on each of the points on the T-post. It works out just perfectly. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything easier, cheaper, more simple, and just, you know, when you look out here, you can't even see it. The cows and the llamas will be able to see it when they get closer, just like, you know, when you're here, you go, oh, fence, no problem, right? Look at this. This is just the, I think this is the greatest cross fence ever. And just, wow. Now, it's only going 300 feet, so it's not, you know, super long, and I wanted to keep it like that. And then, also, because of, you know, the fence posts, the way they are, these, you know, stakes or whatever you want to call them, they're just fiberglass, just drilled a hole through them. I can move this easily. Now, will I move it every time I move the animals? Absolutely not. This is like this is a once-a-year move. Basically, you know, when you have a fence line and stuff starts to grow up underneath it and whatever, it's just, that's the way it is, and it's hard to get in there with a weed eater or a weed whacker or whatever. I can just pick this whole deal up. Just really, it's the 2 T-posts that I have to move. No big deal. Move it 10 feet that way. That way next year, the cows can come graze on this side. It works out wonderfully. Huh, Betty? And for, okay, let's call it 65 cents. 65 cents. I mean, for 65 cents, you get a post and an insulator. I mean, it just works out perfectly. The spacing on it, you know, I had to adjust in a couple different places where, you know, where it goes up and down. But the spacing on it, I just take 16 steps. Comes out to be, I don't know, 36 feet or something like that. And I put another one in. And it goes all the way up here. Now, I did drill four holes in here. Now, let me save you a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of frustration, okay? If you're gonna do this, okay, go buy a drill press. 100% worth it. Why? Because what used to take me upwards of, you know, 5 to 6 minutes per post now takes me like 45 seconds. Just move them along, drill it, and it's easy. Now, if you get a drill press vise for it too, or otherwise it's not gonna work. We picked one up over at Harbor Freight Tools. You can get one on Amazon, the Wen, I think that's what it's called. We were thinking about doing that, but we needed it the same day. So if you're gonna order these on Amazon, just order the drill press, order a drill press vise. I'll put a link down in the description to a good one. And this is what you can get. This is what you can come up with, and this takes me almost no time to put up at all. Now over here, check this out. I do have 4 wires here. Why? Because we have like a little berm right there, and that's where the wire kind of rose up a little bit. So we just used our 4th hole, attached it to the electric that way, and run it over here, and then we're back to 3 wires. I mean, you can't get any simpler, cheaper, better than this. And I have them, look, can you believe it or not, there's 4 or 5 paddocks going that way, already set up like that, and you can't even see it. Look, let's see. I think you can see a post right there. You can see one. But for the most part, it's not like you have T-posts everywhere and, you know, you can totally see it's cross fence like crazy. Here it looks really nice. You can't even tell. Cows can tell, you can tell, especially when you get close, because then it'll, you know, the sun will shine off of it, or, you know, you can see it when you're close. But look at this. This is hand tightened. This is hand pulled. Just really, I mean, my attachments, I think these are called cotter keys or whatever you want to call it, just get with the extra wire, twist and snip. I mean, that simple. Let's take a look at the end here. I'm actually really proud of this, because nothing's gotten out of this. Nothing will get out of this. Why? 3 strands, and then it's not poly wire, because it's not poly wire. This will, I think, hold better than the poly wire. This here, look it, just wrapped around the insulator, then twist it off. I don't know what kind of knot you want to call that. I don't know if it's even a knot, but it works. This is just 17 gauge wire. I got a half a mile of this stuff for like 30 bucks, and I've only used probably 1 1/4 to make these paddocks here. I mean, it's just wow. You can see the cows did their thing, all the manure, all the whatever, and sure the llamas did in one certain spot. That's what's kind of cool about them, is they use like a community bathroom. Look at it. they're happy over here. This is the end of the property over this way. But these hold them in perfectly. Now, a lot of people say, oh, you can't use electric with llamas. Yeah, you can if you train them properly to it, okay? And this, I can't even see it on the camera, really. Look, you can see it, but wow, it just looks nice. And this will keep them in. This keeps them in perfectly. They've had no issues with it. They'll walk up to it. They'll eat right next to it. They don't challenge it. Why? Because they got trained to it over there in the permanent paddock where we first brought them. Look at this. This here, we have it all over the place, and it works wonderfully. So the cows will be here for just probably one day, because there's not too terribly much grass. There's enough here for at least one day, probably 2 days, but we always want to leave at least 1 day's worth of grass in the paddock that they're coming from. And they're doing great. No issues, nobody getting out, nobody getting tangled in it or whatever. And worst comes to worst, if they get tangled in it, you know, this is only 17 gauge wire. You could break that easily. Especially the cows and the llamas, being as strong as they are, could do it. And this right here is just a fiberglass 5/16 inch little rod. That works. That works to where they can snap it if they really, you know, if they're in trouble or whatever. Now, I come out here and check them all the time, but they can snap that pretty easily. Look, I mean, there's quite a bit of bend in here, so then something falls on it, it should be okay. But you could, I mean, I could break this with one hand, no problem. So it's also very safe for all the animals. So like today, when I moved the entire herd of llamas and cows, all I had to do was this. All I had to do was, now on some of these I have like electric gate handles down there, so it's easier, but ran out of some, so I need to go to Tractor Supply or order some more online and hook them up. But I just went, did some poly wire, wrapped it around here so, you know, it'll energize, untie it, lift it up, pull it that way, walk the animals through. No setting up any wires whatsoever. I mean, especially when we do this 3 strands as well, we're still trying to figure out exactly what the best way to do it on the lane side. I think I've got it figured out. I'll do a video on that if you guys really want to see it. But this here, it's the easiest thing. Simplest, cheapest. Like this gate right here, okay, that's a $2 step-in post, and then you're talking 45 feet, because it's 15 feet there, and then 3 strands of 17 gauge wire. I mean, that costs nothing. I mean, I don't know, that's pennies right there in wire and a $2 step-in post. I don't know if you want to throw the T-post in there or whatever, you want to add that to the actual line. But just cheap, easy, simple. Now, does it look pretty? It's okay. I might come in here and do poly wire on here so it's a little bit easier, or I just might keep it like this. I mean, this works. I have no issues with this at all. And then we just do this over and over and over again. And like I said, we'll move it once a year, maybe 10-15 feet either way. That way the ground underneath the fence doesn't grow up in like brambles or whatever. Then that way we don't have to go and weed it at all. But this works. The cows and the llamas doing fantastically on it. They're happy, I'm happy, everybody wins. They get to move more often. I have to do less work. They get to stay in, no issues. It's just a win-win-win all the way around. And let me tell you something, the cost on this is nothing. It's just pennies. We did this on one side of the lane. On the other side of the lane here, we have all of our tools necessary to build the fence, which is practically none, just some, you know, there's wire, a screw to make the fence roll on, clippers, rubber mallet, fence post, and 1 T-post. And we're going to do this on this side here as well. See, we'll probably go off of this T-post right here, go drive another T-post in 15 feet out, then go with the fiberglass, you know, 63-cent post, go all the way down to that other T-post right there. And that's our paddock. And that will cost nothing. It'll make my life easier, and it'll just make everything better. You see, some people might ask, why are you trying to do things as cheap as possible? Well, to save money, because, you know, to do things as cheap as possible is the best way to do it. If it works for the animals, they don't care what it looks like. I care what it looks like, they don't care what it looks like. And to do things as cheaply as possible, we can just do more of it. And what I really want to do here is be able to, you know, hopefully inspire maybe 1 or 2 people in order to get involved with this whole regenerative agriculture, moving the animals every day. Because it's just better for the land, it's better for the animals, and it's better for us when we eat that stuff. And in the case of the llamas and our future alpacas, I think them eating fresh grass every day will translate into a softer fiber. Don't know anything on it, just a kind of, I don't know, just an assumption that I'm making, you know, putting 2 and 2 together. It's kind of like when you eat grass-fed beef and it's real tough and real, you know, just gamey, people say. And I've seen that it has everything to do with what they're eating. And if they're eating hay and, you know, just kind of stuff that we have out here right now to where it's not really lush and green grass, then it's gonna be tough and gamey. If you go and take a cow being processed anywhere from June to maybe October, then it's gonna be a lot more tender. Why? Because the grass is more soft and supple and everything. The llamas and our future alpacas are gonna be eating that kind of stuff, and we'll be sharing them kind of around that time to where they'll have that in their system. And I think it'll just make everything just softer and better. I don't know, it might work. We'll see. But the main reason why I want to do this is because people have said, hey Ryan, you've inspired me to do this, and that means the world to me. If this YouTube channel can do that with a couple people, then 100% worth it. And the main reasons why people don't get into this is because 1, fear, that's with everything. 2, at barriers to entry, that means money. And you know, to do things as cheaply as possible, for people just starting out, hey, they gotta save their money, they gotta pinch pennies here and there. You know what? They can do this. I mean, that fence costs 10 bucks to build or something like that. I mean, it's super, super cheap. And then 3, my main reason for doing this is time. People say it takes too much time to move the animals every day. It takes too much time to go set up the wires. It takes too much time to go, you know, fill up the water, whatever, you know, whatever, okay? This year, if all we have to do is move a gate, call the animals through, hook up a hose to our water line, and we're done, I mean, are you kidding me? I timed it on the camera. I looked to see how long it took me to actually, from when I picked up the gate to when I put the gate back. And it came out to be 1 minute and 45 seconds. If I can move the animals in 1 minute and 45 seconds every day, that's a great thing. That's a great thing. That means that we can do more. We can just have more time to shoot videos. We have more time to ourselves. We have more time to enjoy it. And we're not out here chasing animals all over the grounds. This fence just fits into everything that I was thinking, everything that I've envisioned for this place, and everything for, you know, being able to do it quickly, efficiently. And then, you know what? I'd rather go and just spend my time looking at the cows rather than chasing them around, rather than setting up fence, rather than doing anything. And this holds them all in. Just overall. So hopefully some of you guys will go out here and buy these, I don't know what they're called, snow stakes or something like that. They are the insulator, and it's really easy. Go buy yourself a drill press too. Don't mess around with trying to drill it. Don't do that, okay? Go buy yourself a drill press when you get these. Like I said, I'm gonna leave a link down in the description to an Amazon link to where you can get these, because, you know, I think at Home Depot and stuff, they're like $2 a deal. They're like 63 cents or 62 cents or something stupid, ridiculously cheap on Amazon. I'm actually gonna go buy more right now. So hopefully you guys can use this on your place. I mean, this can hold in a ton of animals, especially with the drill press. You can go make a ton of different holes if you want to do it lower for pigs, if you want to do more for sheep. I mean, and it's so portable, it's so easy, it fits into everything that, you know, we want when we're moving animals every day. So for more tips and videos like this, hit that subscribe button down below, ring the notification bell so you get notified when we put up new videos, hit the like button because it really does help boost the video in the YouTube algorithm and helps us, and then drop a comment if you like. All right, until next time, see ya.